gentlemen, welcome to the Tip Show, the only African podcast show that brings you the best guests who are changing our community, who are adding value to the fabric of Afro-African, Caribbean in Pacific Northwest. Today I'm pretty excited. My brother, my friend, and my neighbor made time to come here today and share his gift, his business, his ideas, and his general outlook on life. Ladies and gentlemen, put your warm hands together for the one and only King Kojo! Thank you for being here, King Kojo.
Thank you for having me.
Ladies, today was cold. It's February. It's still raining.
It's still raining, sunny, a mixture of both.
I think Valentine's should be in summer when it's warmer. Who wants to be
That
rained
would
on
be
to
great.
leave the house?
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, my brother. Let me go back to people who don't know you. Who's King Kojo and what are you about?
So King Kojo, and I can give you my story from the beginning.
Bit by bit.
Bit by bit.
But if I met you right now, somebody asked me about you.
Who is King Kojo?
Okay.
King Kojo is a person who is about life, health,
Correct.
wellness.
Yes.
I like business. I like entrepreneurship.
Yes.
I like seeing people out there, happy doing their thing.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, King Kojo is being very humble. Let me tell you what King Kojo does. King Kojo has come a long way. Came to America almost 16 years ago, in 2008, to pursue his dreams. He came from a beautiful country of Ghana.
Yes.
Shout out to all the Ghanaians listening to us. Did I say that right?
Ghanaians. You got that right.
Got it right,
yes.
right now. Shout out to all the Ghanaians listening to the show. He came here, unfortunately, due to circumstances. He had faced a major adversity when he moved here first and had to drop out of school. A few years after that, he met a gentleman, a mentor, who helped him turn his life around. He'll tell us more about that in a few minutes. This gentleman became his mentor and encouraged him to go back to school again, where he eventually got his GED, registered for college, and he began pursuing accounting. Did you always know you wanted to be an accountant since a kid, or did you have a change of heart in between there?
So I've always knew that I would be in business.
Okay.
That one I knew for sure.
Okay.
But when I went back to college,
Yes.
I was going to do something that when I get out, I'll make some money.
You made some money.
That was the whole point.
There's a lot of people who I know.
Right.
Me too. When I came as an F1 student from Kenya,
Right.
I dropped out of school first because I had a little adversity with the financial things. Then I went back to school. For people who have dropped back to school, how was it for you to go back? What encouraged you to go back and go back to the educational system and pursue your goals?
Actually, going back, it's like at some point that you have dreams, you have goals that you want to pursue.
Correct.
And you step into different rooms, mingling with different people.
Correct.
And it always comes out. It's like no going around it. So at some point I knew that, hey, I want people to take me serious. So, I want to go back to school and get my degree and also build some relationship and improve my knowledge as well. So that was what encouraged me to go back to school.
And talking about school, this is Seattle, Washington, correct?
Right.
What's one of the favorite things that you enjoyed at the beginning? So it's 2008, 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you enjoyed about Seattle as a cultural place?
Seattle.
Yes.
In the beginning, when I first came here, actually,
Yeah.
I hated it.
Right.
Yeah. It's like it was always raining and no sun.
Yeah.
And it was gloomy.
It was tough at
Yeah,
first,
it was
yeah.
tough at first.
Correct.
But after a while, you get used to it. I've been here for almost 15 years now.
Correct.
So now it's like you see the sun sometimes, the rain is coming, and
Yes.
rain for a little bit, the sun for a little bit,
Yes.
and mixture of both of them.
Yeah.
It is beautiful, and the greens everywhere. There's trees,
Trees and
all
everything,
over.
water.
Not that kind of green,
Yeah.
but
Ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, welcome King Kojo to the studio here. I want to ask you a question. I've seen you in the morning.
Right.
Do you consider yourself a morning person or an afternoon person?
I am a morning.
You're a morning person?
Yes.
Me too. I like things
Yeah.
done in the morning
Yeah.
before.
Because when you wake up,
Yeah.
not a lot of people are up there, so you get to do a lot of stuff
Yeah.
before everybody wakes up. So I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah.
As a morning person, I have a routine. I wake up, I drink cold water first before I brush my teeth. The toothpaste messes up the taste of water. What about you? What's your morning routine like?
So for me,
Yeah.
when I wake up, first thing I do is I meditate,
Okay.
and then I read along
Wow.
with my tea.
Wow.
So I started a tea company, so I'm more and more becoming a tea
A
person.
tea person, yes.
So I'm reading along with my tea, and then I'll go to the gym to work out. If I don't have a lot of work to do, I like to work out in the morning.
Yes.
So I go to the gym, work out, get my body right,
Yeah.
and then I start my day.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know, tea and coffee, two things will stimulate your morning. It makes me feel like I have missed a drug in my body if I don't have tea or coffee in the morning. But my brother, Mr. King Kojo, has a company. You started a company, a tea company. Can you tell us the idea behind this inception of this company?
Right.
Yeah.
So this tea, how it all started was a few years ago when I was having some problems myself, and I would go there sexually, right? So I didn't know what to do, and I'm born and raised in Ghana. The way I was raised, I was raised by my grandmother, and in Ghana we never took any Western medication.
Oh, nice.
Whenever we were sick, my grandmother would go to the farm, grab some herbs and mix it together, and then we bath with some of them, and then we drink it and we go to sleep. And of course, you wake up the next morning feeling better.
Feeling better, correct.
So that's all I did back then. So when I was going through this process, I didn't know what to do. And some friends were telling me, oh, you can take this, you can take that. But I'll go online and I'll Google them, the side effects, and it was scary. A lot of the side effects that comes with it. So I waited, and on one of my trips back to Ghana, I went to see this woman. And in Ghana, a lot of the women, like the older women, 60 plus, they have knowledge about traditional herbal medicine.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So my cousin took me to this restaurant to eat. And when we arrived, I looked around and I noticed that the woman was dealing in, herbal medicine. So after we're done eating, I went to the woman. I said, hey, this is the problem that I'm going through. Is there a way that you can help me? And then she looked at me and started laughing, which I didn't know why.
Yeah,
And she told me, she said, you're too young for this. So I said, well, that's the problem I have. And she's like, follow me. So she took me to the back of the restaurant. There was a room there, and it was filled with herbs of different types. So she grabbed this, grabbed that, grabbed a few of them, put them together, mix it with some liquid, and gave it to me. She's like, take this, drink it. I took it, I drank the whole thing, and then she grabbed the bottle, mixed the same stuff again, and gave it to me to take it home.
Take home, yeah.
And she told me, hey, this should last you for about a week.
Yeah.
So I took it home. The whole thing lasted me only 2 days.
Okay.
So after that, after about a week, I met this girl that I was hanging out with. And then I was like, this is the best time to try it.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't work,
then I know it doesn't work. I gotta go back.
Go back to her and talk to her again. So I tried it, and long story short, it was great.
Yeah.
Okay. So after that, I went straight back to the woman.
Correct.
I said, hey, this thing really works. Is there a way that I can get these ingredients and take it back to the States? Because I'm sure my friends will love it too.
This stuff too, yeah.
So I brought the ingredients back to the States. I started calling my friends like, hey, guess what I found out?
Yeah.
And I'll tell everybody and I'll give them samples to try it. And guess what? 2 weeks after that, everybody was calling me for more.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I told myself, I said, this thing really works. So I'm the type of person that when I find out that something works for me, I like to spread the news. I like everybody to try it. So I decided if this thing works and everybody is talking about it, so I can go into business and help men who are also going through the same thing.
When you began your company,
Right.
what are some of the challenges you experienced?
With a new company,
I know.
There's always challenges.
Okay.
Now it ranges from money, obscurity, the right relationships. It's a lot. Just nobody knows your product, so you have to find ways to put yourself out there and put yourself in rooms where you can build relationships and get connected with people. So those are the challenges that I'm currently facing right now.
How is it important for the footprint of diversity in your nature of business? Do you interact with a lot of people from other cultures, cross-selling, as an accountant, as an entrepreneur, as a health and wellness ambassador? How does diversity play a role in your business?
Oh, diversity is
Yes.
good.
They're good,
It is
they're good.
good
Yeah.
because it's like everybody brings something different to the table.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of the times when there's one particular group of people, it's like the ideas tend to be one way. But you want different people from different backgrounds with different experiences, and then with the collective, you know, it becomes something great.
Right.
So diversity is definitely needed in everything that we do.
In your own words,
Right.
what does the phrase testosterone mean? In a few words, for those
Yeah.
who don't understand, my grandmother is asking questions right now while we keep talking about tea with testing in it. What does testosterone mean?
So testosterone is something that, you know, that gives us the energy to do stuff, the drive, the courage to do a lot of stuff. And men and women, we all have testosterone, but men have it, you know, more than women. And that's what gives us the courage, the drive, you know, the confidence, you know, it's the center of everything. So that's what pretty much testosterone means to me.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know more about King Kojo's tea, I will leave the description after the interview. That way they can be able to support
Okay,
the business,
sure.
correct? I have fun questions for you
All
first.
right.
All right. Number one. What's the craziest Wi-Fi name? You know, you've used free Wi-Fi sometime, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What's the craziest Wi-Fi name you've ever seen?
So, quick story. When I moved into this new place,
Yeah.
and I was going through the Wi-Fi, and I wanted, you know, a free one. I haven't, you know, got mine
Reconnected
yet,
yet.
so I wanted to see if I can get into some Wi-Fi to use it.
Yeah.
And I saw one name that says, "Hack me if you can."
Wow.
So I saw that, and I'm like, this sounds interesting. Then a few weeks later, I went back, and the name was changed. It said, "It's done. You've been hacked." And I'm like, wow.
Oh, somebody went and even
Somebody
changed the
went in
name.
and changed the name.
Wow. Oh, thank you for being here. Number two, when you go to the gym and you want to work out a particular, your treadmill, you do deadlifts, what is your favorite part to work out when you go to the gym?
Oh, like every man, the chest.
Chest,
Yeah.
arms.
Chest, arms, because they stand out, shoulders. You know, you want people to see that.
If you see that,
right?
How is it important? Why is it important for people to hit the gym at least once a week or at least twice a month or something?
Yeah. I mean, for health reasons, you know, working out, it circulates blood through your body, you know, and it's a health thing to do because a lot of what we do, you know, eating, you know, bad food.
Correct.
And, you know, most of the things that we do, we sit, and, you know, we're in Seattle, it's raining half of the time. So most people tend to stay home and not go anywhere. So with going to the gym, exercising, it doesn't even have to be in the gym. You can go running, you know, do different things just to get the body moving.
Correct.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Because you said born and raised in Ghana, so there's cultural, that place. Where does dating in Africa meet dating in America for you?
I would love to say that they meet, but
It's
different. It is different. Where in Ghana, see, we were colonized by the British. And
correct.
Quick story.
Talk
There's different terms to certain things.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like in Ghana, for example, like when you meet a woman and you want to talk to her, it's called going to propose to her.
Oh.
Right, the British use that
straight up
word.
propose?
Not propose, like the process of going to talk to her. That is called proposing.
Oh,
right,
okay,
but here proposing is like, you know,
marriage.
You got a ring and marriage.
Wow.
So when I first came here, I was using the wrong terms.
You were proposing to everybody. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you know, over there is different. Like you meet a girl, you know, you talk to her, and I would not say it's easy, but you know, there's more commonalities, you know, over there. But here, it's like people from all over the place, people from, you know, a whole different place. So it's like, it's different in that aspect.
In that aspect.
Right.
All right. And then I want to ask you this question here. While pursuing this journey, whether as an entrepreneur or a wellness ambassador, what are some of the setbacks that you've had and you've learned from those setbacks, and what lessons did you use to fuel you to where you are today?
Lessons, there's a lot.
Bro, run with it now. Take us all the way from the top.
From the top, okay. So let's go back to when I first came here.
Yeah.
You know, I was 16 years old. You know, I didn't know. There was a lot of barriers, you know, adversity, language, the culture, everything.
Correct.
And you're from Africa
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
so
I
you
know
know
that, yeah.
about, you know, the cultural differences.
Correct.
So it takes time to get used to it.
Yes.
Because all of a sudden I found myself in a country where everybody's black. And now I'm here where everybody is white or Asian.
Yeah.
So it was different, and I didn't know how to deal with that in the beginning. And I'll come back home and I'll tell my parents, like, hey, this is my challenges. This is what I'm going through. And they also didn't know how to help me.
Yeah.
And a lot of Africans go through that, you know, especially the young ones.
Correct.
Because while we're going through that, our parents are also going through that.
It. Correct.
So you come home, you talk to your parents, and a lot of them have no idea how to help you.
Correct.
So I was just going through the motions every day. And finally, you know, in school, I was met with a lot of racism in school as well. Not just students, but teachers as well. So I wasn't really comfortable in the school.
Correct.
So I started, you know, hanging out with some kids that I met that they looked like me. So I was a little comfortable with them because, hey, I'm black, they're black. We can all hang out. So I started hanging out with them, and they introduced me to selling drugs. So when I saw that.
This is high school.
This is high school.
Okay.
Yes. So when I saw that, I'm like, I cannot do this. This is not good. But, you know, I felt comfortable with them. So I was more, you know, I would go to them, listen to them, hang out with them. And gradually I started, you know, getting myself involved to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I want to do it. Because when I go to school, all these people are going to do is be racist. So I don't want to be there.
Correct.
So when I started hanging out with them, we started selling drugs. And I started noticing there were money coming in.
Money was coming in.
Money was coming in.
Okay.
So I got to the point where I'm like, put this school on the side. I'm making money. I'm going to school so that I can make money in the future. But now I'm making the money right now. So I don't need a school.
Correct.
So I dropped out of school and I joined these guys full time. So we started going back and forth, selling drugs, making money. We made a lot of money doing that. And, you know, being on the streets too, it's very risky.
It's risky, correct.
You know, going to jail, coming back, going again. You know, the police, you're dealing with other gang members who are trying to kill you because they see what you're building. And a lot of them are not happy because of it should be them rather than
not you.
So it was a lot of that. You know, there were a couple of times where I came close to my death, you know, talking about jail and all of that. So one time, and I remember this so vividly. It was a Sunday morning, and I was walking around Seattle. And all of a sudden, I found myself in a room full of people. And there was this skinny black guy on stage speaking to them, and everybody was happy. So I didn't know what was going on, but I stayed. I'm glad I did. I stayed, and I listened to the whole thing. And this guy was talking about how he used to sell. He said he sold over $1 million worth of cocaine.
Wow.
He sold over 100 women, and he made so much money. But eventually, he was caught, and you know they gave him some prison time. And while in prison, he said he found Christ in prison, and he gave his life to God, and decided that when he comes back, he's going to change everything that he used to do and put good out there in the universe. So when he was finally released, he started an organization to help children that were doing the same thing that he used to do.
Yeah.
And then he became so successful that the state found him, and they put him in charge of the drug program and the gang program and the prostitution program.
Wow.
Same thing that he was doing. Now he's in charge of it, and he was helping a lot of people. So I was intrigued, and his story was so interesting. So, and I felt comfortable because he was black.
He was black. He was like something you can relate.
Yeah, something I could relate.
Yeah.
And I was doing the same thing too. So when he was done speaking, I went straight to him. I greeted him like, hey, my name is King, and you don't know me, but I'm sure you get to know me soon. And he reached out in his pocket and gave me his card. I took that card and I walked out. Went back because I got business to do. Yeah. So I called him on the following day, and he didn't even let me talk. He's like, hey, what are you doing? Come to my office. So I went to his office, and he took me to lunch, and we had a conversation. And I didn't tell him what I was doing, but I'm sure he probably found out. And then after that, I went back to doing what I was doing. And then weeks later, he invited me to his house. And in my mind, I was confused because I'm over here selling drugs and you work for the government.
Why we here? Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't really match.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to go. So I didn't go. I ignored him for about 2-3 months. And then this guy would keep calling me every day. He kept calling me. So eventually one day he said he was having a barbecue for his family. So I should come and meet his family. I'm like, why will this guy? Because I went through so much racism that whenever I meet somebody that was being genuine, I found that to be weird.
Fishy.
And this guy was very genuine. So I'm like, your family, like, why would somebody just invite me to come meet his family?
Yeah.
But, he convinced me to do it. So I went to his house and I met his wife, his kids. He had a beautiful house, beautiful cars, and he was living well. And it was all legit. Right? He didn't have to, sneak around, maneuver through anything. It was all legit. And one thing that he told me that I'll never forget, he's like, hey, I can help you get here if you're willing to listen. And I said, if you're going to mentor me and I'm going to get to this level, then I will listen to you. So he started mentoring me from there. And then he convinced me to go back to school. So I went and got my GED and I went to college and I came out, I got a job doing accounting, and I went through so many different jobs. And, I decided that I wasn't going to go back there anymore because that wasn't right, selling drugs,
Correct.
And, it wasn't right. So I decided that, hey, this guy is impacting my life. So I'm also going to do the same because I'm learning from this guy and I'm taking it to my community.
Correct.
To also teach people all the stuff that I was learning from this guy, because this guy knows a lot. So I will I'll go to my community and start speaking to the youth and speaking to people. And then people were really listening. And one time a lady invited me to a place to come and, share my story because she heard one of my stories. So she invited me to come share my story. I went out there, I started speaking, and the people loved it so much that one lady who was also at the event, she came to me right after that and she said, hey, we love your story and I work for this youth organization and we're having an event on this date. We would love for you to come over there and give your story. We will pay you to do that. I'm like, shoot, you pay me to do it? I'm there.
Yeah, let's go.
So let's go. So I finally showed up to the event.
Yeah.
I gave my speech and they loved it. And somebody else also approached me telling me the same thing, that you should come here to speak. We'll pay you to do that. So I'm like, okay, if these people are willing to pay me, that means there's something
in this
out here. So I pursued that. I started pursuing that and I'll go to different organizations, high schools, and I'll speak to people. And then slowly I begin to, people started recognizing me and they will invite me to different places to come out there to speak, and I was being paid to do all of that.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, King Kojo. See that? That's a big journey right there. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you, exceptional Africans out here. Now, if somebody out there wanted to support you, where could they find your tea?
So my tea, we're online.
Yeah.
You can find us on our website at www.phenomenaltea.life.
Phenomenaltea.life.
And we're also on Instagram at Phenomenal Tea. You can find us there as well.
Thank you. And one of my last questions. Right now, if there's a potential investor, somebody who wants to tap into testosterone business, what's one thing you can assure them about the future of your company today?
So the future, we started not too long ago.
Correct.
But, there's a huge potential.
Yes.
Because, we're putting something positive out there. And this is something that has no side effects, because it's all plants.
It's just plants.
Yeah, so there's no side effects. So there's potential out there. And more people are turning into plant-based medicine now. Correct. So which is a good thing for us.
Yes.
So, if people are willing to, tap in with the future, we want to grow. Like we're looking to build a brand and, connect with people all over the world and have, people all over the world drinking phenomenal tea.
Phenomenal tea.
Because we want to put as much good out as much good out there as possible. So
thank you again for making time to be at the show today, ladies and gentlemen. No, ladies, for your gentlemen, there's tea here from King Kojo. We're gonna find them. I'm gonna put the website out here. And thank you for tuning in. If you're a young entrepreneur and you want to share your story, please come over here. We're here at the Tip Show promoting local entrepreneurs like King Kojo and anybody from Ghana. If you're Nigerian, don't listen about the rice yet. You might be offended about this podcast, but we love you for tapping in. Show love, share, and drop your comments. Till next time, thank you, King Kojo, for being here.
thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Till next time.